Okay. Hello and welcome everyone to the live broadcast of Tango Talk, episode 2. I'm Adam Boone, and once again, I'm glad to be joined by Andrew Bale of Tango Networks. Andrew, how's it going today?
Hey, good morning, Adam. Thank you very much for this episode of Tango Talk. Looking forward to discussing issues for the wider community and, of course, for Tango ourselves. And welcome all of you who are online and those who will be watching this broadcast later on.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. So for those of you who are joining us for the first time, Tango Talk is our new vodcast that focuses on the market developments and news items that are related to Tango Networks. If you don't yet know Tango, it's the leading fixed mobile convergence and mobile unified communications provider. So head on over to tango-networks.com to learn more. So Andrew, we've got a lot of exciting news to discuss this week, so let's dig into it. First off, there was a major announcement about Tango's partnership with BT Wholesale. And then this agreement enables the Tango Extend business mobile service to use BT Wholesale's EE network. And the EE network, of course, gives the highest marks for performance and availability in the UK. So tell us, Andrew, this has to be exciting news for business mobile users. Could you elaborate on the development and why Tango pursued this partnership?
Sure. Thanks, Adam. Well, Tango's goal is to provide a high quality calling experience for our customers. And calling for our customers means two things. It means a good quality mobile experience combined with enterprise class calling, the ability to manage calls, to route calls to the right person at the right time, to bring messaging, video calls, voice calls together into one single controlled environment, to allow the enterprise to manage and monitor those calls, to provide real compliance benefits, and to provide the ability for your customers to get the best service possible when they're calling into your organization. And our partnerships therefore have two parts to them. They have the part of how we integrate into the best unified communications platforms in the market. And Tango have always been known for that, deep integration into a wide range of unified communications platforms and services. But we also need to be using the best radio network. We need to be using the best mobile carriers in the world. And to that end, we go out and we build strategic partnerships with organizations that we believe have the best offer for our customers. And that offer is best in a number of ways. We need partners who have great coverage. We need partners who have a tremendous resilience and reliability in their network. We need partners who have a good roadmap of services, 4G, 5G, likely to bring next generation services to market fastest. And in the UK market, there is an organization who have over the past 20 years been known for providing services, in particular to the public sector, to the most demanding buyers of mobile services. And that organization is now part of BT. It was a standalone company, everything everywhere for a long time, a combination of Orange and T-Mobile, and then became part of British Telecom. And British Telecom has continued to drive forward the capability of the EE network. The EE network is a business quality network from the ground up, built and optimized to support a wide range of use cases. It's been selected by the government as the next generation of the emergency services network, which shows you just how reliable the EE network is. And so we selected EE as our preferred partner. We were very grateful to be provided with a fantastic partnership by EE. And we're developing out that capability as we speak. In the next few weeks, we'll be taking that out to our downstream partners and customers for them to explore the benefits of the EE network. One of the great things about the UK market is that coverage across the whole of the UK has a number of parts to it, both the direct relationship with EE itself, but also the government has encouraged the mobile operators to work together in a very innovative fashion to solve not-spot problems and to cover those areas. The UK has a lot of very large areas of very sparse density of population, which is very expensive for a single operator to cover. And so the rural network sharing in the UK allows us through EE to get extremely good coverage across the whole of the UK.
Terrific. Yeah, I can see how that last part especially is important for business users, given the work from anywhere world that we live in today. So very interesting stuff. And speaking of network upgrades, in our last episode of Tango Talk, we talked about a major upgrade to the network, the Tango network, to VoLTE service and a 5G ready architecture. And we also talked about Tango's new solution for mobile phone call and text recording to keep financial services companies in line with the records retention rules that regulators put on them. And by the way, if anybody missed episode 1 of Tango Talk, you can check it out on our LinkedIn profile, and we'll also have these available on our website at tango-networks.com. So really about that last solution, Andrew, for mobile call and text recording, it turns out that the judges at the UC Awards program, thought that it was pretty innovative, and Tango Extend was just named a finalist for Best Compliance Product in the UC Awards 2022 competition. Now, that's the awards program that is run by UC Today, a leading media site that covers developments in the unified communications industry. And the official award ceremony for that will be on July 28th. So fingers crossed that Tango Extend is going to win that award. Andrew, it has to be gratifying that the solutions have receiving so much industry recognition, the many other awards that the Tango Networks won lately. Why do you think the judges at UC Awards shortlisted this innovation for the compliance solution?
Well, we're in a very fortunate place in the market at the moment. There's been these enormous shifts in working practice over the past few years. First of all, a general shift away from fixed location working to more flexible working has been a trend in the industry for a long time. But of course, as we all know, the pandemic accelerated that and really changed the face of working practices around the world. And different companies have found it easier or harder to adjust their internal processes and practices around the challenges and opportunities brought by hybrid working, remote working, home working, flexible working, call it what you will. All these things play to the same point, which is that the IT manager no longer can rely on the employee sitting down at a desk next to a wired Ethernet port with a phone on the desk and a PC in front of them, which is relatively easy for the IT manager to wrap their arms around and control every aspect of that. When the worker is at home or on the road, using some of their own equipment, some of their own infrastructure, some of their own network, their own Wi-Fi, their own broadband, it becomes much harder, both for the IT manager to control the quality of that experience, and also for the line of business manager to control the behavior and the usage patterns that the employee goes through. And nowhere is this clearer than in those sectors of the economy which are required to meet certain compliance objectives. For example, the trading floor. Historically, traders, everything a trader did had to be entirely under the enterprise's control. Every call, every message sent. And that was easy to do because traders were forced to come in and work in the office, and they had their banks of screens and their banks of phones. Think Gordon Gekko. and that was a very secure and locked down working environment. Over the pandemic, banks had to respond by allowing their employees to work from home. And they could put the IT infrastructure in place for that, no question. But what they couldn't deal with was employee behavior. And a significant minority of people whose working patterns are required to follow compliance. I must have all my calls recordable. I must have every message I sent recordable. Ended up drifting into environments where they willingly or unwillingly contravened those compliance requirements. Just this week, for instance, in the US, regulators are talking about $1 billion in fines being issued for inappropriate use of mobile phones in the trading environment. $1 billion in fines. Now that's getting into real money territory, and all of that can be overcome by the integration of mobility, which is a ubiquitous technology, a ubiquitous service, into enterprise control systems, into the unified communications platform for calling, with its ability to record calls and monitor and manage and allow the supervisors to break in, and all the things that today's unified communications platforms allow for. But that's difficult to do. It's difficult to scale. It's difficult to make something available consistently that always locks the mobile endpoint tightly into the unified communications environment. And that's why Tango Extend, which brings the capability to take a standard mobile phone, apply to it a simple electronic SIM, and lock it down to integrate into the unified communications platform, is an innovation, and an innovation which we hope can transform the compliance environment and avoid these multi-billion-dollar fines that are just building up for the compliance sector.
No doubt, no doubt. The words "no-brainer" come to mind when I think about this. If I were in a business that had those regulations and those type of regulated communications with my employees, I'd be absolutely diving right into this. You know, $1 billion in fines starts to get some attention on the problem. So everyone, please be sure to check out UC Today's award program on July 28th. It's a virtual ceremony, and you can register for it at uctoday.com. So Andrew, I'd like to peel back the onion a little bit more, another layer, if you will, and talk a bit more about the technology that you were just alluding to. Tango's at the heart of Tango's technology is this advanced implementation of fixed mobile convergence. And in fact, a couple weeks back, Tango was named as a pioneer in convergence of mobility and enterprise communications by Dave Michaels. And hopefully everyone knows Dave Michaels. He's a very highly regarded industry analyst, an expert in the trends taking place in mobile and unified communications. And his latest report from his TalkingPointz analysis service, in that report, he named Tango a pioneer in driving innovation in mobile unified communications as a service, or mobile UCaaS, along with other vendors such as Cisco, Microsoft, RingCentral, and so on. So, Andrew, what did you think of Dave's analysis of mobile UCaaS and the trend, and really what stood out for you about where the technology is going?
Well, Adam, it's always interesting when you see somebody like Dave with their ability to pick apart a complex subject and position it very well so it's easy to understand. It's interesting when somebody like Dave looks at a market you've been involved in for so many years, and you actually sit back and say, that's right, Dave, that's exactly how it was. I just hadn't thought of it like that. And Dave has talked about the three waves of mobility of fixed mobile convergence, if you like, always with the underlying objective of how do we link this incredibly successful mobile infrastructure in with the equally successful enterprise collaboration marketplace. Collaboration marketplace bringing controls, a good caller experience, efficiency, process effectiveness, to enterprises, and mobility bringing the ability to make and receive calls and view applications and texts wherever you are in the world. Bring these two together, and it should have always been easier than it has been. It's proven to be really difficult. And so Dave talks about three waves. The first wave was, okay, when you call me on my PBX, let's just fire a call at the mobile phone. And there were lots of organizations who I used to work for Avaya back in those days, and we had the EC500 gateway, which allowed an individual user to define which calls were handed off to their mobile phone, and what happened if I wasn't there, and calls got up to voicemail and all the rest of it. But that only solves one half of the problem. That allows me to take a call. But when I want to call my correspondent back from my cell phone, you can't control that. You can't get into the phone and tell the phone to make a different kind of call unless you're on the network side. And so Mobility 1 was okay for taking calls, but just failed entirely for making calls. A few people came up with sort of clunky ideas. You dial into a PBX and dial a few digits and the call goes out, but none of them worked very well. So Enterprise Mobility 2, the UCaaS players started to develop apps which could run on the phone and could take that control the phone from the app side and make calls as if they were coming from my UCaaS seat, but it's just an app running on the phone. And that's great. I mean, it's a tremendous, the experience of having an app on a phone. We all spend all our time in apps day in, day out. But it turns out that the problem there is that calling is a very demanding service. The network needs to be able to deliver a very high quality, very responsive service, and people need to just be able to pick a call, respond to a call very quickly. And those two items are not delivered by the app experience. The app is essentially running a service over the mobile internet, and the mobile internet just doesn't carry real-time traffic at all well. And so people had bad experience of quality, people had bad experience of availability, and at the end of the day, when a call comes in, my phone rings, I answer the call. I don't really care if it's on an app. And when somebody's called me on my mobile number, I call them back from my phone. I don't bother again with using the app. And so Mobility 2 had a different problem. It wasn't so much that it didn't work, it's just that it didn't work very well. And so Mobility 3 is the phase we're in at the moment. And that's been epitomized by a number of recent players who've come forward with big announcements. Cisco with their WebEx Go service, Microsoft with their Operator Connect Mobile Direction, RingCentral with their integration into AT&T, and the common theme behind all of this is network side control of mobility, the ability for the UCaaS platform to extend into the mobile network and to control calls from the core of the network. And that's the capability that Tango Extends brings to any UCaaS platform. Native integration into the mobile network, the ability for that UCaaS platform to be able to support a high quality, reliable, and low cost user experience on any mobile phone.
It really is a fascinating set of developments and very eye-opening to get that sort of bird's eye view of the trend over the decades that Dave was able to provide in his report. It's he's got a real gift for taking these very complex, multi-threaded sort of topics and boiling it down and really highlighting the most important developments. So I do recommend everybody to check out Dave's service at TalkingPointz.com. That's TalkingPointz with a Z on the end.com. You will need a subscription to read the full report that we're talking about, but I can tell you, we think it's well worth it. So I think that's a wrap on this episode of Tango Talk. Thank you, Andrew. As always, it's great to hear your insights on these fascinating trends and developments.
Thanks so much for your time, Adam. And hey, thanks for everybody out there for watching.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks to everyone who viewed this episode of Tango Talk. You can watch the recording of this session and share it with your colleagues on LinkedIn. Also visit tango-networks.com for a lot more about our fixed mobile convergence technologies. And be sure to watch your LinkedIn feed for the live broadcast of episode 3 of Tango Talk. We'll be dropping that very soon. Until then, stay well. Thanks for watching.